Hot Mike. Hot Mike, don't say fuck LA.
You're right. Go ahead.
And that is an amazing song.
Yes, it is.
Actually,
It
welcome
is.
to another edition of Two Dudes in the Mexican live from our base home, Blackjack Mulligans in Garfield. We keep forgetting to shout it out because we haven't been here in such a long time, but
Yeah,
here we are.
It's been a while.
I'm your host, Premier League Yankees. I'm doing it, Victor Salazar. To the left of me, Pack the Sports Guy,
What up, what up?
a.k.a. Peter Soprano. To the right, resident Mexican Dave Quinones is battling the COVID.
Yes,
So, well wishes to him.
exactly.
Hope he feels better.
Like so.
I told you not to go to Florida, man. Florida's the devil. So,
Kills you.
kills you. So,
Florida and Texas.
but Dave's hopefully feeling better. He's quarantining, getting tests later.
Shout out to Dre, too.
Shout out to Dre, too. He's also got the COVID. I mean, god damn it.
Yeah,
This shit's for
it's
real.
going everywhere.
It's going everywhere. So, masked up.
Mine's in my pocket. I just took it off for the show.
He's got one. He's negative. I'm negative.
We're good.
So, let's start the show with actually talking about Florida. Not Dave, obviously.
We were talking about how bad it was, but we were talking about other things. Speaking of bad Florida.
Well, it just got worse. Florida ranked number 6 yesterday. Goes in. I mean, were they home or they went into Baton Rouge? And then they went
No,
to
they
Baton-
were home. They were home.
Were they home?
Yeah, they were home.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they were home.
Wow. Even worse
They
then.
were home.
Yeah, they were home.
Even worse then. So they were.
I
in Tyler-
remember they had that annoying guy on third down every
Oh,
time.
that's right. They were doing this. They were doing this. So
Third down.
possible big game. I mean, it's still a big game. Still a big game next week. Lined
Not
up with
big.
Alabama. Not as big as it could have been. But they're playing LSU. And LSU, defending champs. Obviously, they lost half their team
Yeah,
to the NFL.
like more than half. Yeah.
But Florida chokes.
Bad, really bad.
Bad.
You called it, Pete. That's
Florida
right.
chokes really bad.
Yep.
And now, Saturday game is a little less meaningless. But what are your thoughts on the Heisman Trophy frontrunner, who might not be the, whatever his name is,
Kyle
Trask?
Trask.
Kyle Trask.
Nice Kyle Trash.
Kyle Trask. Kyle Traskey.
Listen,
And Florida choking. That was a choke job.
that
I
was
mean,
a horrible job. And it's not like one of those games where they were winning most of the game and they died at the end and LSU came back. LSU was up for most of the game. Like, even if it was only one score, they were winning most of this game. And Florida just completely blew it. Kyle Trask, I don't think he should win just because of this performance. I understand he had 475 yards, but numbers, they may not lie, but they don't tell the whole story. He had 3 turnovers in this game, 2 interceptions. You can't do that in big games. We've said it with the NFL with Lamar Jackson, where he puts up good fantasy numbers, but he doesn't win the games. The same thing right here. He put up good numbers, 475 yards, but he just didn't play well. And Florida completely choked. It would have been their chance. They had a chance to still get in this national championship, get in Final Four, because they're number 6. They would have played Alabama at number 1. You beat Alabama. You got a legitimate chance to say, all right, we're in one of the top 4. Now with them losing that game, they're done. Like they probably won't be in the top 10. They probably don't even deserve to be in the top 10. And between
will be.
The state of Florida completely fucked up yesterday because you got Doug lost and then Miami got blown the hell out by North Carolina, 62-26. Like the state of Florida just completely fucked up yesterday.
I thought the U was back. Yeah, right.
With their one loss, now they got a second loss that's like takes away their whole season now.
So
Number 10 in the country, and you get blown up by like that.
I mean, I think we were kind of already knowing what the Final Four was going to look like here, even though, you know, they're cheating for Ohio State. What does this do?
That's nothing new.
What does this do if Alabama loses to a 2-loss team?
Then it don't matter. Then they're still going to be in. Alabama always is the one case that's always a little bit different where they can get an extra loss and still be in. So it's not fair, but that's what they do. They love Alabama. So Alabama is automatically in. I would think Notre Dame, unless they get blown out, is going to be automatically in. Clemson probably has to win. They probably can't get in with a second loss, so they have to win their game. And then obviously Ohio State. They love Ohio State. So I think that's going to be the Final Four unless Notre Dame beats Clemson. Then we'll have a fight for that fourth team.
Okay, so even if Florida wins, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
2-loss team. So Florida wins.
Well, there's never been a 2-loss team ever to make the final. And now in a shortened season, there's no chance you're going to get in there with 2 losses.
Okay. I mean, whatever, man. Fuck college football. They're cheating. They're cheating for the guys they want to get in there. But
Urban Meyer still got pulled.
Basically, at the end of the day, Alabama could lose by 50.
Yeah.
They're still
And
going
they're still
to get in.
yeah.
Ohio State literally has the rules.
Those
changed.
are really the two. I mean, they don't cheat for everybody. They cheat for those two. Like, no matter what, those two are going to get the benefit of the doubt. If they lose one game for the whole year, it doesn't matter when they lose it. If they get blown out, if they lose one game, they're still going to be in. They have to lose 2 to get knocked out.
All right. So moving on from that disaster, we'll get to we'll preview, maybe a little preview. USC big comeback. UCLA had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
And
28-10 or something.
28-10. It looked like. I mean, the Pac-12 is not going to get anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. I get it. They're not at the level of the other 4 conferences, or however you want to call it.
And they started extra late.
And they started extra late, but Ohio State's only played 4 games.
Yeah.
So whatever. But what does this tell you about this USC team? Who, if nothing happens with COVID, they will be playing Friday night for the Pac-12 championship.
I think that USC is an up-and-coming team. They're getting there, and it was good that they didn't get rid of their coach because he seems to be a good coach. But the thing about it is that, one, as you said, their conference doesn't seem to be at the same level.
So these Pizza Hut cups that they're giving away.
I don't know what the hell is that. but yeah, I don't
Chuck
think
E. Cheese cups.
I don't think they're at the same level as the other conferences, like you said. So they still have a little bit more to grow. And two, I mean, they should have blown out UCLA. They had to come from behind. They were down big time, so they're not there yet. So, but they make for exciting games. That's one thing. The Pac-12 always puts on exciting games, no matter what.
How far do you think this conference is from finally getting back into it? I think it's unfair to say that they're not at the level of anyone because you couldn't play anyone this year. So you basically had to play your conference. And we're just going off eye test. Do we really know if Alabama's the best team?
Oh, no. I don't think they are.
Because who they play? They play the SEC. And what do we do every year? Well, not us, but everyone else overrates the SEC. Like SEC always has 6, 7 fucking teams in the top 25.
And this year, the SEC is not good. Like, almost everybody has 2 losses already, except for Alabama. And you already see that Auburn is not the normal Auburn this year. LSU is not the normal LSU this year. And Florida, we saw that they're not the real deal last night. So nobody in the SEC is really good except for Alabama. So, no, we can't really see how good they really are. So I agree with that.
All right. So we'll set this up nicely for next week. We might do a show from the Titan Room because Big Saturday, if you don't know, next week.
Yep.
Not really.
We start. This is how ridiculous this is. So I'll say this before we get into the games. Let's just briefly touch on this Ohio State thing. They are 5-0. You need 6 games to qualify for the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Yeah.
Rules were changed. Now let's say, like obviously, right now, Michigan State, Penn State, Michigan are not what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's say Michigan State, Penn State, and who did I say? Michigan State,
and
Penn State actually had decent records, actually were in contention, and let's say Michigan was 7-1.
Yeah.
But they lost to Ohio State. Okay, no. Let's say Michigan was 7-1. They lost to Michigan State.
Yeah.
Never got to play Ohio State.
Yeah.
Does this change if Michigan is 7-1, or if Penn State's 7-1, or if Michigan State's 7-1, or it's just because this is
it makes it look bullshit. It makes it look like bullshit because it looks like they just.
Would this be an issue? Right, because right now, all you have right now, they're playing Northwestern.
Yeah, which
Indiana, great season. Don't get me wrong.
Yes,
but they're not.
And Indiana almost beat them.
And they're not. But they're not the powerhouses of this conference, right?
Yeah.
Even Wisconsin. Even Wisconsin's not Wisconsin this year. So if you look at the perennial Big Ten contenders. It's always those five, right?
Yeah.
It's always Penn State, Michigan,
Wisconsin,
Michigan State, Ohio State, Wisconsin.
yeah.
And outside of Ohio State, the other four aren't that good this year.
Yeah.
So if either of those four are remotely decent, or well, not decent, but Wisconsin's okay.
Yeah.
But if they're
But they gotta beat
good,
Indiana.
if they're good, is there a bigger like rift within the Big Ten? Like, yo, this is bullshit. As opposed to now, everyone's like, nah, you're right. Ohio State's the best team.
I agree. Yeah, I think people will complain more. They will want to see. They will want to make sure that there is a Big 12 team, a Big 10 championship game, because they was like, all right, we can't just toss it in there. Like, I think the biggest way to judge Ohio State is Indiana. If you think Indiana is legit, then all right, maybe. But I still don't think Ohio State is a normal Ohio State team this year because Indiana almost beat them.
Okay.
So I just think that Ohio State's just being tossed in there because they're Ohio State. I don't think they proved
anything. Bullshit because it just is.
Well, sports this whole year has been bullshit.
I mean, but you know, there's what is it called? They're purposely cheating.
You go
They're purposely cheating for Ohio State to get in.
Yep.
And I don't care. Like I don't care what Kurt Hershey says or any of these guys. Playing 5 games, you should have automatically qualified.
I mean, if you look at really the top games this year, I mean, obviously probably the top game was Clemson Notre Dame. They're in the same conference, right, for this year.
Okay.
Indiana versus Ohio State. Indiana almost won that game against Ohio State, and Indiana almost beat them. Wisconsin and Indiana beat them, so that made sure that the conference isn't that good this year. And Alabama hasn't played anybody. They haven't. They beat up on LSU, who isn't good. They beat up on Auburn, who isn't good this year. So Alabama hasn't proved anything. Ohio State hasn't really proved much. The only thing is just judging off Notre Dame and Clemson beating up on other teams and then beating up on each other.
All right, so let's segue into Championship Saturday. We'll probably spend more time on this next week. Starting off at 12 o'clock. Well, Friday, we don't know who's it's ridiculous. It's Friday. The Pac-12 Championship is up in the air.
Yeah.
If UFC tests positive for COVID, then I believe it's somehow who gets
That's
in?
weird.
Utah or something gets
Yeah,
in.
Utah.
If someone from Washington tests positive for COVID, I think Colorado jumps in. It's weird. On slate, it's supposed to be Washington versus USC.
And it's super weird because they played last week with Colorado and Utah, and which actually was a good game. Colorado was up at the half, and Utah came back and blew them out in the second half.
But for now, technically, the Pac-12 championship is supposed to be Washington and USC.
Yeah.
Will that last? Stay tuned. We don't know.
Who are you picking now?
I'm picking USC.
Yeah, I know USC too. I don't think Washington.
I don't think Washington's that good, and I think if they would have played Oregon would have beat them.
I agree with that.
So we'll move on. Ohio State versus Northwestern. This is how trash this championship game is. Ohio State is a 20.5 favorite.
Now, if it's me, I want a rematch of Indiana.
I want Indiana.
I want Indiana
Why
again.
can't
Indiana proved that
Why
they're.
can't we cheat to get Indiana there?
They're
right?
proved that they're a solid team. Like I want to see Indiana, and they proved much more than Ohio State this year. So playing against Wisconsin, playing against Ohio State, playing against there was another good team that they played on their schedule. They played 3 top 25 ranked teams. So they've proved that they're actually good this year. Ohio State hasn't.
Listen, Northwestern lost to Michigan State. That's all you need to know. Michigan State lost to Rutgers, and I love Rutgers. Yes. They're coming back. Shiana's on the right track, but let's be real, man. Northwestern does not belong in this game. If we're gonna cheat and we're gonna have a good conference championship game at 12 o'clock, you should throw Indiana in there.
Yeah,
that's what I have to say about that. Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma, Iowa State. This is probably for one of the Big 6 bowls because neither are getting in. Iowa State, man. You got to give them credit. They got 2 losses, but they're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they are. A lot of games come down to the last second.
And it's the Big 12. You're going to get a lot of scoring. Oklahoma's favored by 5.5. I would actually take a flyer on Iowa State.
I agree with that.
I think Iowa State might just win outright.
Because I don't think Oklahoma's the normal Oklahoma team this year. I don't think a lot of the normal top teams aren't top teams this year.
So those are the 12 o'clock slate. So, we'll probably be at the Titan Room. Just kicking our feet up.
That was Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Okay, that's fine.
We're Pac-12. We don't know who's playing.
Is Saturday.
We don't know who's playing. So tentative. Coastal Carolina and Louisiana. Sun Belt Championship. Also happening at 12.
I'm waiting for the big one.
So that's not Louisiana is ranked number 19. Coastal Carolina number 13.
Mhm.
Coastal Carolina did a thing and upset BYU
Yeah.
a week ago, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah, BYU was getting all that hype earlier, and they.
So I'll take a look at this game. I'll take a look at this game, even though I know nothing about either team.
Yeah.
Outside, I know Coastal Carolina has a running quarterback.
Yeah, I like
That's
Coastal.
that's all.
They're not bad.
That's all I know. And then we'll skip to. I don't even know why other teams are playing next Saturday. Vanderbilt, Georgia, Missouri, Mississippi State.
No, because the SEC, this is how fucked up the year is that they had so many games that are postponed because of COVID that they still have people that still have to play that last day.
Okay, so Alabama, Florida. We touched on it briefly. Alabama is.
Yeah, don't tell me you're gonna skip over the big one now.
No, let me leave that for last.
No, you're not. You're probably not talking about the same with me.
What?
the fuck are we talking about college?
Mac action.
Yeah, the MAC.
Dude, did you see the game yesterday? How it ended?
They don't even have it on the schedule yet.
Dude. Ball State Buffalo.
Ball State versus Buffalo. I saw how it ended. I gambled way too much money on the MAC Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, so I really don't.
Buffalo's good, by the way.
Buffalo is good.
Yeah.
Buffalo's the only team I bet on the MAC that actually wins the money because the rest of the team fucking. They're just too.
Ball State almost gave up the banners on the field again yesterday. They were lucky that it was a forward pass, or they would have blew that shit.
Was that?
They jumping on the field early.
Was would that score have counted against them in terms of like losing the game, or was it? Like,
Yeah, if there was a forward pass, then yeah, it would have counted against them. They ran on the field too early, and they didn't pay attention, and the guy ran for a touchdown. But it was just it was screwed up.
All right, so I got Buffalo on that one.
Yeah, so do I.
The only team that's
I like
done that.
Buffalo,
So
yeah.
shout out to Western New York up there, rooting hard for the MAC action.
Mhm.
Yeah, Alabama, Florida. Alabama's a 16.5-point favorite.
Bullshit.
I don't know, man. I don't care about Florida. Like, really.
Fuck that game now.
Basically.
If Florida had won, then I would have actually cared about that game. But now
I think they should switch. They should switch.
Fuck that game.
They should switch that 8 o'clock game.
Themselves.
They should switch that 8 o'clock game to the 4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
And put this as the 8 o'clock game. It's the rematch we all want to see.
Yeah.
It's the only game that really matters
Yeah.
on Saturday, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
With playoff implications, right? Clemson, Notre Dame. Sunshine's back. Trevor's back this time.
The future Jet.
Somehow, I guess.
Probably future Jet, yeah.
Somehow, I guess he's only worth 1 point because when Clemson played Notre Dame a couple weeks ago, they were 9-point favorites.
Yep.
And now they're 10-point favorites. I don't know who makes these lines. Whatever. But it's going to be the only game that really matters with playoff implications. If Notre Dame wins, that kicks Clemson out.
Yep.
Which will be huge.
That'll be huge.
Trevor Lawrence is not.
He's never missed a playoff.
He's never missed
That
a
would be
championship
huge.
game. He's never not just missed a playoff.
Yeah, that's true.
He's never missed a championship game.
That's
let's
nuts.
just get that out the way right here. The man has played in the championship game every time he's played.
Yeah,
so
that's
if he loses on Saturday, that's it for Trevor Lawrence. Great career, or he could be the only quarterback I think to play in back-to-back national championship games.
Yeah.
So that's how much is riding on the line. If Notre Dame loses, I think Notre Dame still gets in.
Yeah.
Just based off the strength that they beat Clemson already. Granted, it wasn't with Trevor Lawrence, but that's
They beat
still
North Carolina, who
they
proved
beat
that.
North Carolina, who
Yeah.
shellacked Miami.
Yeah.
10-point favorite. You think that's big or way too big or not enough?
I think it's too big. I think
He's a Notre Dame fan, by the way.
I think Notre Dame. Well, you know what? I'll say it right now. I think Notre Dame will lose this game, but I think they will be within a score.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think Clemson. I think Clemson.
What the fuck?
I say this, and no disrespect to Pete or anyone else. I think Clemson is the best team in college football. From what I've seen, I think they're on a revenge tour. It's going to start with Notre Dame first, and then they're going to want to get revenge on the SEC. So whoever's in there, Trevor Lawrence is coming for you.
Yeah, I don't know if the SEC team making a decision.
Here's what he's got. Here's the Trevor Lawrence map. Beat the team that beat you.
Yeah.
Get into the playoff. Maybe play the Justin Fields, the guy they're saying might go number 1 over you. I don't know why ESPN's hyping this guy up. Don't be wrong, he might be good, but you're gonna really say there's a comparison Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence as to who the number 1 pick is next year?
It's like when it was Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf.
Oh yeah. And then he's gonna want to get revenge on the SEC for last year. So I think that's the game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clemson wins by a touchdown, so that means it should probably be a good game throughout. I don't care about Florida since they lost. Like, I don't. If somehow Florida wins and they get into the playoff, I probably will not watch college football next year.
But one quick thing: do you think after this year, people will finally shut up about if Notre Dame's in the conference, they're not going to be as good? They're playing a bunch of big teams. Like,
I'm tired of that too.
They joined the conference, they dominated the conference, and now.
The thing about listen, I Notre Dame is there's some teams that are bigger than college football itself, right? You see it, right? They cheat for Ohio State.
Yeah.
They always cheat. They always cheat for Alabama. Clemson's getting to that level. I mean,
Yeah,
they are a top tier program regardless. But
they just haven't gotten as much cheating.
So I mean, USC, the Pac-12 is basically going to cheat for USC.
Yeah.
If they didn't win yesterday. So, and Notre Dame has their own fucking network.
Yeah.
NBC. But the thing about Notre Dame is like Notre Dame doesn't play anyone. They play fucking.
They played a Big Ten schedule.
They play a Big Ten schedule,
and
then they'll throw in a Clemson or a Miami or whoever's the hot team in the ACC, and they always play USC.
And then a West Coast.
So whatever, man. I'm glad Notre Dame, is in this. I think it's good. There it is.
That almost sounds like USC.
It does sound like USC. But that was for David. Hope he's doing better. But yeah, so I mean, I think next Saturday is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So we'll segue from college football into a little bit of boxing.
You just gave Hop COVID by saying it.
I mean, I think if anyone gave Hop COVID, it's David. So let's do a little bit of last week because God damn it.
That's the thing. Off of Joshua coming out.
Yeah,
boxing's dead.
All right, so let's start with the Danny Garcia Errol Spence fight.
Yeah.
Just briefly, I think we all knew Errol Spence was going to win.
Yeah. I think the only thought about it was that he had the accident, so they wanted to see how he was going to come back.
I still think that's a good fight to come back to. Like, he wasn't taking a,
more pay for that pay-per-view, suckers.
Yo, I paid for that pay-per-view.
Yeah, so I don't know, piece of sucker, I guess. Anyways,
I think you just want to see.
Listen. At the end of the day, we all want to see one fight in that division. It's Spence Crawford.
We're still not gonna see it.
Listen, Keith Thurman's gonna pop up and want to fight. You know what's funny? Both these guys are chasing Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
An old ass man. Don't get me wrong. Manny Pacquiao keep
Thurman. He still brings them money.
So I don't know.
He brings them more money than both of them, so they both want to fight the money guy.
Which is funny. I mean, it's cool.
That's what boxing is now.
Manny Pacquiao is still an elite welterweight if he's kicking Keith Thurman's ass. So
he is. I still think he's top 3 welterweight.
So I mean, would I be mad if Spence or Crawford fight him next? No.
You used to be mad about Spence Pacquiao.
Let me just say one thing real quick.
What happened?
For Ryan, fuck your army, bro.
Oh shit! Damn.
I was in the Navy, so Marines, so that's why he's a little emotional about the 15-0 loss yesterday. But yeah, listen, Spence Crawford is what we want to see.
Yeah.
The reason I think Spence has proven himself that he's a really great welterweight. Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
Crawford has yet to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is Crawford passed the eye test at welterweight? Yes. Of course. But the resume at 147, you got to prove it. So, if he fights Pacquiao, I won't be as mad as if Spence fights. I think Spence does bad things to Pacquiao. I think Crawford does bad things to Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao from 5 years ago. That's it.
Yeah. I don't mind. Yeah, like you said, I don't mind seeing Pacquiao versus either one of them. He's still a top 3.
We'll see what happens. Let's talk about Jake Paul. I'm just kidding. Don't get mad. I love Jake. Listen, Jake Paul has made more boxers mad than I can.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He makes boxers mad. He makes UFC fighters mad.
How you make a YouTuber get you guys pissed off?
Like, come on, dude.
Just because he's making money.
Like,
fuck that dude, man.
Listen, you guys. Here's the thing, though. Everybody makes fun of Ryan Garcia, and I do too.
I do too. Yeah.
But Ryan Garcia knows what he's doing when he's promoting himself, and that's what Jake Paul and Logan Paul, these worlds are doing. And listen, people are watching. 1.5 million people bought the pay-per-view, and I know it was Tyson versus Roy Jones, but Jake Paul brought in a lot of that money, and Nate Robinson got to pay the price for it. So
I mean, that's what boxing is. You have to promote yourself, especially on social media. I mean, is it some kind of weird coincidence that Mikaela Mayer, every time her fight's about to come out, she's posting like half naked pictures and bikinis and stuff?
Listen, we're not a sexist show, Pete.
We're not, but I'm talking about you have to promote yourself. She's smart.
I don't know, man.
Let's back it up, Dick.
No,
Let's
Shit
just
smart.
fuck everything up.
Am I gonna be suspended?
There's a Me Too movement going on, Pete. I would say.
I didn't say I was doing
I'm
anything.
just saying, listen, we love you, Michaela. Love you, have you on the
We
show.
do.
When we decide to start interviewing people again, but
We
we've been
do.
lazy a little bit. But slowly coming back. Obviously, the big fight yesterday was Anthony. Oh God. The big fight yesterday was Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev. We all knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say that Anthony Joshua is a bit more tentative than usual. I guess I was impressed because he got the stoppage. How about you?
I mean, I wasn't impressed at all because I expected him to knock him out. I mean, Pulev's shown that he has the tendency to get knocked out versus top tier guys, so I didn't expect him to go 12 rounds. I expected him to really hurt Joshua, so kind of was what I expected. I wasn't really impressed.
Okay.
So the only time I'll be impressed is if he does it to Fury, or pretty much Fury.
Listen, next year, here's the thing I'll say about Crawford and Spence. If we don't get it next year, I don't want to see it, to be honest with you. Of course I'll watch, but what did I say?
And,
Said
what up? Cheers, bro.
My Chuck E. Cheese cup. No, listen, if Spence Crawford doesn't happen next year, of course I still watch it, but I think the max has to be next year. Joshua Fury, I think it's going to happen next year. I think there's way too much money for it not to happen.
Yeah.
And
I think both of them happen at the end of the year next year.
so. I think we'll get both fights next year.
One during the fall, one during the winter.
And I hope to be at, both of them. A side note, Berlanga. What do you think about him? I mean,
He's still knocking out trash cans. It's still nothing to really go crazy over. He's just building his height, which he should be doing, but he still hasn't done anything really to.
I mean, he's paying for $150 haircuts.
Yeah. Oh my God, $150 per haircut. You're bugging, dude.
That's crazy.
You're
I
bugging.
don't know who's cutting your hair, man, but they rip you
You're
off,
bugging.
man.
Seriously.
I can take you to my hood and you can get it for like $30.
Yeah,
bro.
you're
just
bugging.
as good, probably better. Rejo got stopped again yesterday. Looking
that hurt.
good.
That bothered me.
What do you say? You think he's done and we
He
should
is
just
done.
move on?
He's done. It bothered me because I root for the kid. We've watched him since he was super young, growing up and starting in the business, and it sucks, but yeah, he's done.
I fell asleep before Shakur Stevenson fight. Because
Yeah, he
it
dominated.
was like 1 o'clock,
Yeah, 10 rounds, 9 and
shout out to Top Rank for having East Coast based fighters. Verdejo, Puerto Rican, Berlanga, New
starting
York.
at 10:30.
Shakur Stevenson, New Jersey. But, let's put Shakur Stevenson at 1
Yeah.
Eastern, 1 a.m.
Dude,
Eastern.
the fight was going on at 1:30.
It's insane.
At 1:30. I thought the fight was done by then. I turned on, it was still on.
Listen, man, I get that the ESPN money is good, but you're not. I don't know.
You're not helping.
East Coast folks are asleep when these East Coast fighters are happening. I like Shakur. I think he's very poised. I think he's got the skill.
Yeah.
But remember when we used to say about Crawford about 5-6 years ago? It's not about winning.
Yeah.
It's about how you win.
Yeah.
And he's got to do more. Takahara. I mean, I remember.
And who sees you win too? Like,
Yeah.
if you put him on at 1 o'clock, and who's
What was
gonna
the
watch
guy's name?
him?
Taka Clary Khan or something like that? I remember Taka coming up.
Yeah.
He's a top ranked guy.
Yeah, he was.
He came up at the same time as Verdejo. But listen, he says he wants Burchell, Shakur Stevenson. He says he wants Loma. He says he wants all these guys at 130.
We'll see.
So I like the Burchell fight. I think he could definitely beat Burchell. Like, he's got the skills to
That'd
pay
be
the
a good
bills, as
one.
they say. And we'll see.
Chell's got that pop, so
So we should see. Burchell was supposed to fight Valdez.
that'll be a
Didn't
good one too.
happen.
I think that'll be exciting.
I
Even
think
though
Valdez is on his way out.
yeah, but I think that'll still be exciting because he'll go all out.
Well,
He tries to be conservative to start fights, but then he just goes all out.
yeah, I think he took way too much punch in his last couple of fights. But obviously, we're gonna probably do a show next Saturday, so we'll get into the big fight that's gonna happen next Saturday, and that is Canelo versus Callum Smith. So that's it for the boxing talk. Let's move on. Give me my Sunday Fun Day music, Hobbs.
There is none.
We got 15 minutes left. We're gonna spend it on NFL Sunday because it's Sunday Fun Day,
Yep.
and unfortunately,
So many teams suck.
unfortunately, I said I was gonna do something if something happened,
Yep.
and unfortunately, it has happened.
Unveiling.
I said I would wear a Giants jersey if the Giants actually beat a team with a winning record,
Yep.
and that happened last week. So we're gonna start off with something I thought I wasn't gonna do this year.
I haven't seen it yet, so I gotta see it still.
So,
Intense.
it's about a year old.
Wow.
I still have the tags on it.
Wow. Big LT, the real LT.
It's a throwback. Remember Mitchell Ness?
The real throwback company. Don't take the imitations, kids.
All right, boys.
Got a real jersey now. How when you wearing yours, man?
Woo!
First in division.
Nah.
We are 5
Won
and
what?
7
Won what? 3 in a row? 4 in a row?
on a 4-game winning
Yo, you gotta get the jersey on,
man, it feels
Wow.
good to wear this. It's been almost 2 years since I rocked the Giants jersey. Woo!
Wow.
So I'm gonna start with that game.
Wow.
Since it's a 1
Yeah.
o'clock game.
Yeah.
Giants are 5 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, according to William Hill right now.
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen? It's a home game, even though there's no crowd. And maybe I'm just feeling myself in this jersey.
We'll see who they play.
Maybe I'm just feeling myself in this jersey,
That's what I'm talking
but listen, I'll say this. Oh my God, Pete.
Dude, I hate picking him because I'm not. Listen, I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray fan, so I just don't think he's great. They're anointing him as the MVP and everything already. I don't think he's there, but I just think that they'll find a way to win. They have a lot of offensive weapons.
They do, but you know who also had a lot of offensive weapons last week? The Seattle Seahawks. And they also...
Oh, I got to talk about them when you get to them, too.
They also have a better quarterback. I mean, he hasn't looked as great
Wow.
as the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
But this game is very similar to me because one, mobile quarterback, one, stud wide receiver, number one, and DK Metcalf's a beast, but I know he's no DeAndre Hopkins as of yet because he's got to be more consistent. But the Seahawks have a lot of weapons. The Giants know no one on this defensive side level weapons. But because I'm a Giant fan, I do know.
Yeah.
And it's Kyler Murray, man. I'm not sold on Kyler Murray either.
No.
So I'm going to go with the Giants to win outright. And if they lose, then it's my fault because apparently I haven't rocked the jersey in forever. So that's the 1 o'clock game. We'll go to another 1 o'clock game. Very pivotal to the NFC playoff picture. The 6-6 Minnesota Vikings against the 7-5. Your favorite quarterback, not mine, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. As of right now, the Bucs are a 7-point favorite. So I'm going to, as much as I hate to do this, I have an eraser here.
You're scratching it
I'm
out.
scratching it out like I was in school.
about. And then you got a bigger eraser next to it.
Oh yeah, look.
Vikings covered, Bucks covered.
I think I'm not sold on the Bucs.
I'm not either, but I just think that the Vikings are fake money. I don't think the Vikings are that good.
You like that?
And the Bucks, when they don't play in prime time, I think they're like one loss or undefeated. Like they're good when they don't play in prime time.
All right. I'll say this. The Bucs have a good defense.
Yes.
On offense, it's a bunch of overrated players and old guys. And Chris Godwin, overrated. Mike
He's been
Evans.
hurt all year though.
Yeah, I don't care, man. This is NFL. Put on your big boy pants. Mike Evans, somehow.
I don't think he's overrated.
I think he's a little bit overrated. Like, we were talking about this guy being a top 5 wide receiver.
I think he still is.
I think he's a little bit of fringe. And I'm going to put a little bit overrated. Leonard Fournette, overrated.
No, no. He's not even a starter. Ronald Jones is better than him.
So, and then you got old-ass Gronk, right? He's not old, obviously, but in football
boy AB.
AB, where has he been? I think
He throws to him a lot. He throws to them too much.
because they hang out. It's because they hang out on a daily basis in his house.
They play Uno.
They play Uno, and but we see this every week, and I'm gonna keep saying it. As much as you want to say Tom Brady's the GOAT, and there's no problem with that, I agree. He can't throw the ball downfield.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's the end of his career.
That's
He's
it.
Peyton Manning in his last year.
Like, don't get me wrong, Bill needs Tom, right? But Bill will find a quarterback. But Bill knew how to utilize Tom Brady, and that's why he had fucking three. He had possession receivers. Julian Edelman, whatever. Any white guy that goes to New England was a fucking possession receiver. Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, whatever. He also had three running backs at the backfield to dink and dunk to. This is why Sony Michel sucks now.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting, or James White and Sony
James
Michel,
White, yeah.
they're not as used as productive because it's a different type of quarterback.
Yeah.
But the dink and dunks was pivotal to Tom Brady's success last year.
Yeah.
I think they win. I think they win by a field goal. But whatever. I mean, Kirk Cousins stinks. I mean, he's got Justin Jefferson showing out. And,
fuck him.
all right, no doubt. All right, so
fucking dumbass dance he does that when he scores.
well, we'll see what happens today. The biggest 1 o'clock matchup is in Miami, Florida. Jeez, I get sick just saying Florida. Chiefs head down to the Dolphins. Chiefs are 11-1. Dolphins are 8-4. Pivotal for the Chiefs to get the number 1 spot. Pivotal for the Dolphins because they are in a playoff hunt. Right now, it is a 7-point spread for Kansas City.
This is actually a tough one to me to pick.
This is a tough one for me to pick as
well.
well.
As this is.
But here's the thing I'll tell you. Here's the thing I'll tell you about the Dolphins when we submit our picks.
Dolphins +7, Chiefs cover.
Man, me and Pick are disagreeing a lot today. The thing I'll say about the Dolphins, and I know this
Dave would
because
agree with you though.
because he loved Tua.
Yeah.
Anytime the Dolphins have been more than a touchdown favorite, they've covered.
Yeah.
They did
The
it against.
defense is good.
They did it against the Niners. They did it against the Rams.
You know what's weird? I mean, I'm not Dave, so I'm not the biggest fan of Tua. But if Fitzpatrick was starting this game, I'm actually picking my Dolphins to win outright.
Wow.
Because I think the Chiefs are vulnerable. I don't think the Chiefs are a great team. I think they're vulnerable. I think a team that has a solid defense and can put up points can beat them. And that's why I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year, because I think there's a few teams in the AFC. I think the AFC is tougher than the NFC this year. And I think there's a couple teams in the AFC that can put up points and have a solid enough defense to beat them. So I'm not big on the Chiefs this year.
Okay. I mean, they're 11-1. They still have Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. So I think the Dolphins will cover. I think they'll lose by maybe 6. So we move. Before we move to the 1 o'clock, I just throw this to Pete because
Real quick, the Jets, Seattle, 1-4.
4. We'll get to that because they're a local team. Pete, Titans, Jaguars, 7.5. I'm gonna say I hope we agree on this.
Probably not.
7.5. I think Pete's gonna say something crazy, but let's see what he says.
Titans cover. Titans by a lot.
Titans by a lot. All right. The Jags are hoping
The Jets win a game.
by a miracle of God that the Jets win a game.
They want the Jets to win so bad, they'll loan their players to the Jets to try to help them out.
So, yeah, I think
They desperately need Trevor Lawrence, so they definitely want him really bad.
So your boy's gone? You don't like your boy no more? So you're going to take him to Hoboken now?
Oh,
Trevor Lawrence is next?
wow. I'm not going to speak.
You're already leaving
I'm not
Sam
gonna
Darnold?
speak- I'm not going to speak on that.
You're already damn.
I'm not going to speak on that.
Sam's
I
probably.
said the Jets will take him. I didn't say I'm taking him. I'm like,
Wow.
well,
So let's move to that game because I know you have a lot to say. This spread is ridiculous. 16.5 right now. Seattle versus the Jets. Man, I don't care. I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna let you lead this one off. I really don't have much to say. I know you have a lot to say. I think he's writing a paragraph.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That whole fucking book over there.
He's writing a Dave story right now.
C cover, but not Wilson. I don't know, 6.5 over there.
16.5 Jets cover.
so I'm going to say that Seattle will cover, but not because of Russell Wilson. If you paid attention to Russell Wilson this year, he went from being an MVP to being an average quarterback.
Yep.
Average quarterback.
As the year has gone along, he has showed his age.
Yep.
Because everybody looks like Russell Wilson is still a 26, 27-year-old running around. If you look at the past 2-3 games, he has slowed down drastically from how he has the first month of the season.
Well, he needs to stop having kids.
He set a record for the most amount of touchdown passes in the first couple games, I think 4 or 5 games of the season, and he has been very average since then. So his age has caught up with him. I don't see him turning that around, and I don't think that they will do. I don't think Seattle's going to play well the rest of the year, and I think the Giants just beat up on him last week and proved that last week when they.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We watch quarterback. I'm just kidding. I haven't said that all year. All right.
Then the Giant jersey.
This is called Giant Courage.
Giant Courage right there.
All right, big game, playoff implications for 405. Colts Raiders. Colts are 2.5-point favorite.
I hate picking this shit too.
I hate both teams, by the way.
I don't hate the Raiders.
No, I hate the Raiders. I hate Derek Carr. I do. I hate him. He sucked all year for me. He has like 2 good games and he has 12 terrible ones. I'm gonna go.
This one is gonna be the betting pick of me, not what I want.
Colts cover. Colts cover.
After Raiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Colts cover because the Colts, when they're in close games or games that they're supposed to win, they usually do win them.
And Phillip Rivers 13 kids, so he's got
to pay for his kids. But yeah, every time, like I remember the Green Bay game when I really thought Green Bay was gonna win and they choked and Colts found a way to cover. They find a way to cover a game, so I'll say Colts cover.
All right, so we're gonna do 3 more games. I'm gonna throw this one in here because it's your favorite quarterback, Taysom Hill.
Oh my God!
Going up against. Going up against
I hate him
the
so
new starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's Jalen Hurts. Carson Wentz has sucked all year, just like Derek Carr.
What's the spread?
The spread is 7.5. New Orleans. I'm gonna go
Saints don't cover. Eagles cover.
Saints win. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I can't watch Taysom Hill. He sucks.
Dude, he can't throw. He
terrible.
is Tim Tebow. He is Tim Tebow, and they just don't want to call him out for it. But he's Tim Tebow. That's what it is.
Tim Tebow is a believer and follower of Christ.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
He just sucks.
How did Jalen Hurts do today?
I think he will get a rushing touchdown and 1 passing touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think Miles Sanders will have a big game because now people have to watch out for Jalen Hurts running the football, which will take some of the attention for them to do some misdirection plays to Miles Sanders.
All right. So actually, I lied. We're gonna do 3 more games. Okay. This one still does have implications. The Washington football team, 3.5 dogs. The San Francisco 49ers are also 5-7, and somehow still in the hunt. I don't know how Washington is an underdog here. Wow. No, you know what? Yeah. I hate to break this down. I hate to write this down, but
I don't know what that says. Red football. What? Win outright.
Yeah, red. We're gonna say red like Redskins.
Washington wins.
I think the football team will win. I think they'll win outright.
Same.
I don't know. That's like you said. I don't know why they're underdog.
I mean, they're traveling into
49ers still don't have Garoppolo back there. They still have Mullins.
It doesn't matter.
So I don't get it. So.
All right, so we're on the home stretch of the show. Sunday Night Football, humongous game in the AFC. Steelers, after showing the world that they're frauds.
This is a big game.
Frauds.
This is a real big game.
They've struggled with everyone that's been remotely good this year.
Dre.
They lose to the Washington football team last week.
No names.
They're 11-1. They go to Western New York and go to Buffalo. 2.5-point favorites are the Buffalo Bills. What do you think happens?
I want to explain this a little bit.
All right, listen. I'm gonna say
I think
this.
30 seconds to this.
Buff covers.
I think Steelers win the game. However, I think this will help Buffalo in the future, and I think this Buffalo is one of those teams that can beat KC in the playoffs.
Challenge flag.
I think this will help them. They need a game like this.
Listen, I think Buffalo is for real. I said it at the beginning of the year. I'm still saying it now. It's crazy to think that all this hoopla in that draft class with Sam Darnold,
I told people.
Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson, who am I missing? Oh, Baker Mayfield. And it might be Josh Allen who's the best quarterback in that draft.
Told people.
Which is a great segue.
Everybody bashed them.
We have 30 seconds left. Great segue into the Monday night game, Ravens-Browns. those two same quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson, failed me. And I'm even going to spread Baltimore by 3.
I'll say Ravens, they cover. I said fuck Baker. And the reason why is because I said Lamar chokes against big games, and Cleveland hasn't proved him to be a big team yet.
I think Ravens cover. Ravens cover, Browns win. I don't know about the Ravens.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
We'll catch you. Before we go, I just want to say a big shout out to Heck Senior. Today's the anniversary. May you rest in peace, my man.
And we do not own any of the songs that we played.
We don't.
We don't.
I'm poor. See you guys next weekend.
Peace.